Sandbar Beach, da wird man da abgewürgt. Aber wenn du nicht laut steckst, da sitzt du da unten und ein schöner weggesplasht wird. Ja, ich gehe heute auf den Board, ne, guck mal. Ja. Und dann siehst du da hinten bietet es dich an, da ist Big Barrels coming.
Life, love, the pursuit of happiness. All don't want, all that we all need. To beg and plead, 10 degrees of separation. This is life. You think you want this or you think you want that. But in the end, it's all black.
Student Derek. You student Derek. If you can share it, it helps me. Ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Airtime here on the EFPT channel on the European Freestyle Pro Tour. We had a couple of little technical issues today, so it was a little bit hectic getting started, but you guys don't need to know that. So this week we have two awesome guests. We have Julian Wiemar and Valentin Böckler, both German freestylers, popular on the scene of freestyle and very good at freestyle as well and high up in the ranks. Julian Wiemar had some really great competitions in the last year, and Valentin as well showed face in Lanzarote with a great result there also. So without further ado, we'll bring in Julian Wiemar first. No preferences, just we're going with the guy who's there first. So Julian Wiemar, let's bring him in. Julian.
Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome to the show, man. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks. How's it going?
Yeah, all good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm sitting here in my brother's office actually. because he got all these cool tools like the headset and the camera and stuff. So he set it up and I'm ready to go.
You look like a professional gamer. What's been going on during these downtimes? You've been getting your Call of Duty game on or?
No, I'm not gaming. I didn't get into gaming when the lockdown happened, so that's a good thing, I guess.
How's that been for you at your end with this this lockdown, the situation, with the coronavirus and stuff? You've had quite some time off the water. It's kind of a bit reminiscent to having injuries and having to have time off. Unforced, forced time. What have you been doing with your time, and how's it been now getting back into it?
Yeah, actually, we were super lucky because where I live in Germany, close to Cologne, we were still allowed to go outside. So I actually spent a lot of time outside in nature, biking, stand-up paddling, a lot of solo missions, like just taking my bike and go somewhere on a day trip, or paddling on the lake. And as soon as it was windy, I was also able to go windsurfing. I also got into foiling because where I live it's not super windy. We get some wind, but it's light and gusty. So I was lucky to get the foil just before the virus started, and so yeah, I really got into foiling.
Well, sounds like a perfect time to get some practice on that. So, talking of foiling, I mean, our next guest is actually he's been pushing a little bit of foiling as well. I've been hearing, and I've seen some nice shots of this guy cruising around, blasting around. Valentin Böckler is the man himself. So let's bring in Valentin.
Hola, hola.
Valentin, blind date number 2. Welcome to the studio.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going, Valentin? What's up at your end? You're not too far away from Julian, are you?
Yeah, I'm just living here in northern Germany, and all good. I mean, we can windsurf, we can do sports outside, and everything is quite well, and everything is healthy, and everybody. So I'm fine as well.
Awesome. So, Valentin, what about the foiling and stuff? I mean, Julian was just talking about this. You've been pushing that a little bit. How's the foiling on your side?
I mean, the last weeks were really intense about foiling because my home lake is just 13 minutes from my home here, and it was windy like every day, so we were on the lake every day and we were foiling every day. So it was pure fun and really relaxed foiling.
Sounds good.
So no competition, just fun and cruising around, and that's
yeah. I mean, that's how it's been lately. At the moment, we've not had any competition, none of this. Have you guys been doing any kind of like just fun stuff between friends in the meantime to keep up the competition training, as it were?
Yeah. I met a lot of friends out there on the lake, and it was fun just to surf and to also to train a bit. But actually, it was just cruising, and
yeah. And Julian, yourself, have you been doing any sort of specific training to keep in shape for all of this? On the water, off the water.
Off the water for sure. Yeah, like working out a lot, some nice training sessions, but on the water, I gotta say not so much. I was not so focused on like proper competition training or timing some heats or pushing with friends, because where I live, there's not so many people who actually do freestyle. I was on my own most of the time, and yeah, the foiling is just for fun anyway. So on the water, it was just for fun, and on land, I did some proper training in the gym.
Yeah, a bit of painting as well, I saw.
Sorry?
A bit of painting as well, I saw.
Painting. Yeah, some side jobs to make some money to save up for for some upcoming trips, and yeah, a lot of painting, like renovation, the whole apartment.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to keep yourself busy.
There about construction working. So
yeah,
that's maybe good for the future as well.
Everyone's learning new skills at the moment. Have you guys learned anything else at Valentin? Have you been focusing on any kind of new skills, or thought, like, okay, I'm going to take this time and try and do something, or just becoming an absolute legend at foiling?
No, I was training a lot, cycling and running, and yeah, for triathlon, because I started triathlon a few years ago, and yeah, normally 3 weeks ago I had my first Ironman in Mallorca, but it postponed to end of October. So actually I was fully training, but yeah, so now I have some more time, some more months to go.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'd seen some updates from you here and there, a bit of cycling. I mean, a bit. You seem to be cycling around most of Germany, but I've seen you, doing some pretty, big missions on the bike, and obviously you must be doing a lot of running and swimming as well. I guess that's where you got that radiant glow from, swimming after your gear on the weekend.
Yeah, it was sunny, you see.
Yeah, you guys had a good weekend, right?
Yeah. It was fun.
So about the
private surf festival.
The private surf festival, yeah.
Was it busy?
Yeah.
It was quite busy, yeah, but we were just having some beers together and surfing together, and yeah, it was fun.
Awesome, getting back into the spirit of it.
The spirit.
Cool. And so yeah, I mean, you talked about this Ironman. I mean, let's not brush that aside so easily. That's a crazy thing to go for. I mean, I know firsthand, we were speaking earlier about this, and I know firsthand my brother's competed in the Ironman and done this stuff.
Yeah.
I've been there at the finish line. I've seen these guys come over the finish line, hundreds, thousands of people coming over the finish line. I mean, actually, not everyone completes it. How have you been training for that? Like, have you done a half Ironman yet, like as practice?
No, not yet. You have to get slowly up to this kind of kilometers, so it's a hard step, and you really have to get slow to this point of where you can compete in half Ironman, and so it takes few months for sure. So it's a hard step, but I know I can do it. So yeah, I was competing few short distance triathlons in the past. So now I need a new kind of competition for myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just really
I mean,
myself.
That's it. You compete against yourself, don't you? Your own times and stuff like this. How have you found it? How have you found it different? That training for the half Ironman versus training for freestyle windsurfing. What was obviously big differences there, but how was it for you?
Yeah, it's super different, but yeah, it's like for windsurfing, you go windsurfing with friends, especially for in freestyle, or also for foiling. But in freestyle, you push each other on the water, and at the triathlon, I really focus on myself and just have my bike computer in my eyes and my training plan. So it's super different, but it pushed myself a lot. Also on the water, I felt myself last year when I was competing few triathlons, I had much more endurance during my heats as well. So
there we go.
It helps me a lot.
So Julian, have you been training any Ironman stuff?
No, I would love to, but I think the problem is my running. I'm not a good runner, and I don't enjoy it at all. So
I would
really like the biking and the swimming. What I also do, I really enjoy it. I do it, but the running, it's just not my thing. I think I can compete with these guys.
I seem to remember you running once in the whole time I've known you, and that was like a big highlight. You know, it was like I just ran.
I remember, yeah, in Tenerife.
I remember the specific occasion. What was it for? Why were you running?
I don't remember. I just remember that it was at the Siam Park where the tow-in happened for the World Cup. You remember? And then we were doing like a small running competition around the pool because I wanted to show you guys that I can actually run.
Yeah, I mean, running in quotes. Amazing. So Julian, I mean, you touched on windsurfing again, and how's your windsurfing competition career been? Like, you know, how have you got into windsurfing and then thought, okay, I actually want to compete? And what were the first competitions you did?
It's a pretty classic story, actually. It's I got into windsurfing when I was super young, like 3 or 4 years old, because my grandpa he had some boards in his garage, and I wanted to know what that is, and then I went to our lake where we live, and I saw some people windsurfing, and I was like, I was straight. I was like, I want to try this. This looks cool, and I always enjoyed to be in the water, like swimming in the pool or on the small bodyboards, like doing this kind of stuff as a kid. So I always really liked the water, and I could swim already when I was 3 or 4, so I was allowed to do the license, and then I did the windsurfing license. I took some lessons, and after that, as soon as I started planning, like windsurfing was the only thing in my head for many years, and I had to had to finish school here where I live in Cologne, because my parents, they really pushed me to finish that, and they always told me, as soon as you finish school, you can go and windsurf wherever you want and do your thing. So I finished that, and my plan during school was always that I want to compete. I want to compete against the best in the world, and I want to improve my freestyle. And that really helped and motivated me to actually finish my A levels, because in the back of my mind there was, yeah, I can go windsurfing wherever I want when I'm done. So I did that, and as soon as I finished school, I trained for 1 year, because I saved up some money, and I had the opportunity to go on some trips, and I was training for 1 year straight, like going to Brazil, going to Cape Town, and after that I was like, okay, I'm ready now. I can try it. I can try it out.
Time for big air cavacucci's.
Yeah. And yeah, that was the point when I started to do like proper international events after 1 year of training after school. But before, I did events here and there, like also during school, in holidays. I was competing in the German Freestyle Battles. I did a couple of events at the weekend, and some European Freestyle Pro Tour, the kids version, the EFPT actually. I went to Alachati with Valentin already, I don't know, 2011.
That must have been a long time ago, yeah.
So I got into it early, yeah. But like proper international competition like PWA and EFPT, I started after my training year.
Amazing. Hey, what a story. That's super cool. I seem to remember, was this before or after your training year that you came running into my apartment in Fuerte, who I was staying with everyone else, and you and I think Marco Lufin and a couple others came running in dressed in like lifeguard outfits and flippers on your feet, and
that was just before my training year started. This was like the last one of the last summers in school, like the last holidays. And we always enjoyed it so much, the holidays on Fuerte. It was like the highlight of the year for sure, going to Fuerte in summer for like spend all all the time of your holiday over there, go there. After school, like the day school is over, you take a flight, and the day before it starts again, I would come back, and we enjoyed every day so much there because we always knew it was limited, like for a couple of weeks, and yeah, these were crazy times. So much windsurfing, but yeah, also yeah, just living the life,
living
like
the dream. Amazing.
Going to La Carpa, maybe a bit too much sometimes. It was not. We weren't so focused back then. It started after school when I got into competition.
When you did your year, and then you were like,
Yeah.
"That's it, I'm in." Actually, I mean, you can see that development a bit. We'll come back to that. That's cool. Valentin, I mean, for you, kind of almost the same sort of question. How did you get into the windsurfing side? Have you been in it since you can remember, or did you come to it a little bit later? And how about the competition side as well? It's been a bit kind of you kind of dipped your toe in some events here and there, and not done season after season after season of world tour, European tour like this. How's that process been for you?
Yeah, I started windsurfing when I was 6 years old, because also my dad was windsurfing. I was still windsurfing. So like from then on, because I was living in southern part of Germany next to Stuttgart, and we moved to northern Germany when I was 6 or 7 around, and then we took our camper and driving to the beautiful island of Fehmarn. It's just 1 hour from our home, and every weekend we were at the sea, and he taught me how to windsurf. I did the windsurf course as well, and the license and everything, and over the years it became more and more, and I think 2007 or something, I started with my first freestyle moves, because I saw like Norman Günzlein or Andrei Paskovsky at the surf festival. It took part on Fehmarn at this time as well. So it was like kind of what the heck are the guys are doing there on the water. It was really impressive. And at the end, I wanted to do the same, this freestyle moves, and I received a freestyle board to my birthday, and then it became more and more, and I think 2010 it was the year when I started this competition stuff as well, also with Julian at the European Freestyle Pro Kids Tour. But I think before 2009, we were at this young gun camp in Prasonisi. It was a talented camp for upcoming freestyle windsurfers. Also, like, if you want to learn freestyle moves. And this was, I think, this was the main thing why I keep on running this freestyle stuff, because I learned so much in about 1 week. It was 1 week, I think, or 10 days, and it was really intense. There was also Marco Lufen, Loic Splicher, Julian Wiemar, all the guys, and Mikey Vichorik as well.
Yeah.
So. Few names where right now they are competing and pushing, and kind of growing their career.
So I mean, you can say that perhaps that's a really good starting point if you want to get into kind of freestyle, like a more advanced freestyle, and look into competition perhaps.
Yeah, it was the start.
Some of the pros were there, like we met
Andy Chambers, no?
Yeah, I actually met Angston there. Angston was there as a pro rider, as a teacher, and star guest. And now he's organizing our events. That's pretty cool as well.
That's really cool, eh? Yeah.
He also still remembers me as a small kid in Prasonisi.
Man, who would forget the guy that only walks everywhere? Come on. So Valentin, I mean, you said about you touched a bit there on the seeing Andre Peskovsky and stuff like this. Has he been like an inspiration for you? Because you and you and Julian have both got into producing videos and movies, and you're sort of more behind the production of it. Whilst Julian's often starring there, and other people, friends and stuff along the way that you meet along the way, and invite to those trips. Do you find Peskovsky as an inspiration to that, or you're thinking your own path, your own channel, and stuff like this?
Yeah, Peskovsky definitely was one inspiration for me, but the most inspiration for me was more like Julian Robinet. He was one guy who he was following the Kiel guys like a few years ago, and beside all these Peskovsky films, but for sure the Peskovsky films were also and he was one of my idol for this film stuff as well. But more Julian Robinet, yeah, because I met him in Alachati, like when we were competing the European Kids Tour, and then he showed us how he is doing all this film stuff and everything around this. And from there on, I followed him on, I don't know, YouTube or MySpace or what it was at the beginning.
Evo and all of this.
And yeah.
Oh, awesome. No, that's cool. I mean, you guys have done some awesome projects together. One of my favorites, Entrance Free, and we also tried to show some clips there in the beginning of your raw trip to Mallorca. This was a pretty raw clip. Have you got like Julian? Have you got a preference? A favorite trip that you guys did, and a favorite shoot that you went on, like a location?
I think my favorite part of Entrance Free was Cape Town for sure, because this was my very first time in Cape Town, and I liked it so much. I couldn't believe like how good it is and how many spots there are and how many possibilities we have there to film, like different kind of stuff, like different spots, different landscapes, everything. So I think it was like I was there already for 1 or 2 months, and then when I was there, we decided that Valentin would come over for my last month of my stay to film me. It was pretty spontaneous, and because I liked it so much, I was like, if we film, we have to film here, because I didn't know it before. And then it worked out, and he came over to Cape Town, and we filmed over there for a couple of weeks.
Was there a particular moment you remember really well, like a particular session, or just something like unexpected that happened?
Particular session, probably the one with Balz in Sandfly, that little lake on the other side in Muhlenberg. That was super cool because we really liked the shots, and in the evening when we were checking them, we were so stoked on the shots, because Valentin he got into like proper professional filming just before or at around this time. So he was also learning every day, and we were stoked when the shots were good, and we captured some good moves, but also some good lifestyle, landscape stuff, everything. And my second favorite was for sure the one in Big Bay, where you appear in the movie.
This one
was the part, the push loop.
So good. Wow, that was a shot and a half.
Cool. Because Valentin, he was swimming in Big Bay, and I think he only did that once because there's too much fish.
So Valentin, on that note, is there too many big fish when you're out swimming in Big Bay?
Oh, yeah. But it was next to the beach, but the current was so hard that pushed me like outside to the deep water, so it was a bit scary.
and now you only swim with like 1,000 people in a triathlon.
Yeah.
So Valentin, to you, similar sort of question. has there been a favorite video you've made, like maybe one of the older ones or a particular section of one of those movies?
Actually, I started with all this video stuff when I was when I came into the gun sales team. Especially, it was 2013, and I think, yeah, they picked me straight up to the photo shoot to Maui in Hawaii. It was super dope for me.
That's amazing.
And actually, also at this year, I got straight into the helicopter for the Hokipa shoots, because I was just there for freestyle. And actually, for the Hokipa stuff, wave stuff, I started with some filming stuff, some clips, and they asked me, hey, you want to film some helicopter stuff in Hokipa? I say, okay, why not? Actually, like 3 or 4 days in a row, we were like every day on the helicopter.
Amazing.
1 or 2 hours in Hokipa.
What an experience.
And then like really like 3 meters above the waves, flying with the camera, sitting outside of the helicopter. It was the craziest experience for me.
Did you have the harness to hold you in, or were you just like,
just this normal yeah. But actually at this time I just started with filming, so I didn't have this great camera stuff, so it was really shaky and it was not the internal stabilization into the cameras, and I didn't have the stabilizer and everything. So, but yeah, it was at the beginning, it was this kind of how I started my video stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And so from the movies themselves, is there like, the ones you've done with Julian together, is there one location you've seen where you're like, this one I remember so well?
Especially, yeah, for sure. All the Cape Town trips were special. The light, the scenery, the lifestyle, everything. It's so special in Cape Town, and this is why I like to go there. Hopefully every winter, but now in March it was my 4th time, and but especially with Julian, we were in Norway. It was also kind of this special trips. We were competing at the Drone Video Award for a Visit Norway campaign.
Amazing.
And actually, it was the first time that Julian cutted a movie.
No.
And this video, we sent it over to the Visit Norway campaign stuff, and we came into the top 5, and they invited us to visit Norway, and we did.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Sounds like you got something to tell us.
I'm not a good editor. I just got into using Premiere Pro a little bit, and I wanted to improve. So he just sent me a couple of drone shots, and he was like, "Can you edit something? Doesn't matter what." And then we sent it there, and then actually this video won, and that's why we got invited to Norway.
Yeah. And this time you were in Fuerteventura.
Yeah.
So good. That's amazing.
At this time, Julian were in Fuerteventura, and me as well, I think, for the World Cup or something.
I seem to remember you guys like going at a kind of slightly strange time to Norway, no?
Yeah, we were there with your van. That was the year.
Yeah.
And Valentin, you were there to film Lene, the Norwegian girl. You were there to film her.
There going on.
Okay, and then we flew straight to Norway afterwards.
So you're filming the Norwegian girl, and then you're straight up filming Norway.
Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. What a time, huh? I mean, it sounds like you had a great output from that movie and from Norway as well, and that trip also. Valentin, actually, while we're on you there. We're talking earlier about the German Freestyle Battles. You mentioned it a little bit, and that's actually something else you've been involved in as well, alongside of the film production, things like this. I heard you were even doing like the running the German Freestyle Battles, creating the videos, doing the social media. Like, it sounds like you had
Judging.
judging as well.
Yeah, everything.
I mean, tell the history of it. Like, how did it all start? You know, what was your role or roles in it, and where's it going? Where's the future for it?
Actually, it was 2009. We didn't have a real freestyle competition format in Germany. We just had these German windsurf cups, where it was kind of freestyle wave competition, and but not a real freestyle competition. And also the judging was not really perfect at this time. And then we had Surf Festival again, and Adi Beholz, invented this kind of format. He asked some friends and some freestylers around the Surf Festival if they want to join for a little competition just for fun, and judging themselves on the water. And and from that point on, the German Freestyle Battles were in the life of the freestyle community in Germany. And at this time, I think at the first one I didn't compete because I was not at the Surf Festival. I was somewhere else, and I think I started end of 2009 at the German Freestyle Battle. And actually 1 year later, Beholz was on his trip around the world, competing in the World Cups and European Freestyle Pro Tour as well. And nobody was really in organizing the German Freestyle Battle. So I just kept forward, and I organized from then on. And here I am, 10 years later. It's still running, and
amazing.
It's getting more professional every year, and the freestyle scene in Germany is growing from year to year. And I'm really happy about this.
It's certainly having an impact. I mean, you see a lot of competitors. How many competitors have you had, at these events?
Well, especially, I mean, at the Surf Festival, everybody's there. So at the Surf Festival, sometimes we have up to 50 competitors at one event. So it's quite hard to run an event with 50 competitors in 1 or 2 days. So but actually normally we have up to 25, 30 at a normal competition.
That's amazing. That's really really strong attendance. How has the German Freestyle Battle been like a gateway for younger people or people who wanting to get into freestyle? Has it been easy for them to access it? Is that why it's so successful?
Yeah, because we don't charge any entrance and any entry fee, or we also have this kind of standby format. So when it's windy on a weekend, we say, okay, we start a battle on Saturday, and everybody on our Facebook group knows, okay, there's the battle. We go there and having fun on the water, and don't have to pay hundreds of euros or something else for a competition, and to get into it as well. So that was, I think, the main goal why we are growing quite fast over the years, and also because everybody is like pushing each other during the competition, and to judge, like, you are the windsurfers, but you also judge the other guys on the water when your heat is not running. That's also kind of an impact thing, I think, why it's kind of interesting to start or to come to the German Freestyle Battles, because you also learn how to judge.
Yeah, that's really a really good concept. It's a super nice idea. Certainly one that could be carried over to other countries, and perhaps they look at it and they see how successful it's going, and for sure in some countries there's on forecast events happening, and small things between friends and stuff like this. We had it in the UK for a while. We had proper series, but it wasn't so much on forecast, and perhaps that's where the German Freestyle Battle really, excels, because you're going to an event where you're going to compete, and you're going to be with like-minded individuals who are keen on freestyle and like that. So a super great concept. And so where do you see it going from here now? What's the ambitions with it?
Oh, we have like 3 or 4 years ago we were 3 years ago we from there on we cooperate with the German Windsurfing Association, and from this point on we were getting official again. So like we were 5 or 6 years unofficial, so we just had our fun events, but from this point on we were official, and that's also interesting for the competitors and also the brands around the windsurfing industry, that there's an official freestyle event, and also young competitor or upcoming talents who are maybe interesting to get sponsored from these brands. And especially from there on, we were growing from year to year. Now we are having our own iPad judging app. And but yeah, we couldn't tested it now because of the coronavirus.
It's just new then. Oh, that's really cool. I mean, Julian, how has it been for you? More as the competitor side. How has it been competing on the German Freestyle Battles, and also how has it been, using that experience and going on to the international events, the EFPT, as an example?
Yeah, it's so easy. Like, it's so cool that you can just show up, like, no matter what level. You don't have to pay. You don't have to have a certain level. You can just go and try how competition is, and if you like it. And it's so easy. The whole atmosphere around it, like, some guys, they just show up late, and then it's like, oh, where are these guys? Okay, let's wait for them. We wait for another 10 minutes to start that heat. It's not like in PWA or like in really professional competitions where the atmosphere is a bit like that there's tension, or that
it's ultra high level, isn't it? Yeah, nerves are high. It's ultra high level. It's accessible. That's what it is. The German Freestyle Battles are accessible and a proven concept. Is super cool. So Julian, what about your moves and stuff in competition? Let's progress on a little bit to this now. And what's your favorite sort of moves to do in competition versus out of competition? This is something that I think would be quite interesting to know. Is there a difference between what you like to do?
Well, that's a good question, but actually there's no difference, I think, because the moves I really like to do, like, for example, some big air bobs, I would do them in all of my heats if there is a chance to do them. And also when I got into doing shifties, for example, 2 years ago, when I started to finally go for it in Lanzarote, I tried it in competition. Like a few months later in Sylt, I landed one in my heat. So for me, I guess it's the same moves.
Yeah,
I like to do in both in competition and freestyling.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, I mean, I just asked because I think some people, they prefer to, there's some moves they like to send outside of competition that are perhaps a little bit harder, versus in competition where they play it a bit safer. But it sounds like you just send it anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
straight.
I don't like to try something new in my heat. That's for sure. I would never like see a ramp in Lanzarote, and if I would never try my first shifty there in my heat. But if I know that I can land them, or there is a good chance that I can land the move, I would go for it. Yeah, then it doesn't matter. But I'm also not that type of sailor that just goes like all in, no matter if doesn't matter if I crash or not. I want to do the moves that I can that I know that I can do. I have like a list in my head actually before my heat. Maybe one or two moves where I'm like, I might try it in the end if I get a ramp or something. But
yeah, if you get that perfect heat and then you're like, okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna, right, that's the move. And then sometimes it's disappointing, you know, you get to that point and you're like, I really wanted to go for that move, and it's like,
yeah, and then
you
it's
know,
over.
time's up. You're like, time's up. Yeah, cool. And how about like in terms of like your, you know, moves you've tried in training and stuff like this? Has there been any like highlight moves, any big moves, you know, for you that you've really tried and, you know, maybe had like a gnarly crash on or anything like this?
Yeah, as I was injured last year, and after that I was a bit, yeah, even in Cape Town, I didn't go all in from the beginning. So actually, I didn't push so much in like new moves or super gnarly, crazy moves, but I really tried to learn my combinations, like just to get my double kudos on both tacks on the lake, and some switch double combinations, like that kind of stuff. I really wanted to improve in Cape Town. And before I got injured, it was probably the shifty. Yeah, it was the shifty that was the move that yeah, it took me so long to finally do it in Lanza. And actually, my friends, they really helped me. It was Valentin, Marco, and Adi.
I was going to say,
We were in Lanza after
my next question is
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I remember Valentin being part of that group and going for shifties as well. Valentin, how was that going for shifties in Lanzarote?
Yeah, I know this session. It was a sundowner session. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we pushed really hard, but at the end, I tried one shifty, but yeah, I crashed fully onto my sail or like on the boom. So it's hard, but for sure, I think at this point I saw Julian sticking the first shifties. It was that point, huh?
It certainly
Yeah.
was. I seem to remember that also. The stoke was high as you guys came off the water. And how's that feeling? I mean, that's like one of the best feelings in freestyle for all of us, no? That you're out there with your friends and perhaps after a competition and you've got some free time, conditions are firing, and you know, it's a few of your friends still on the water and you're like really pushing. You've just seen some guys do crazy moves and you're like, right, I'm going to do it.
It was so good because the pressure was off. It was the last day of the event, and then we just decided, okay, now is the time to go. And then, yeah, I did a few actually in the first session because Adi was pushing so hard because he was the only one who landed one before.
Dude, this guy. He's hard, huh? I've seen him.
No, that's the best feeling for sure. And then going over to Fuerte, knowing, yeah, I finally landed a new move.
Sick. So really good motivation there going into the World Cup as well. Amazing. I mean, just talking about Adi there, I've seen this guy hit some thick lips before. You know, he's been he's been going late. He's been watching Air Camp. You know. How was it being part? How was it being part of that movie? That was a bit of an unexpected one in Cape Town this winter.
Yeah, we didn't plan anything, eh? It just happened. No,
it was so fun to watch. I was in Cape Town at this point, and you dropped the movie.
It was cool that Tim got so motivated.
Yeah, Tim, good friend of ours. He was creating this movie. If you haven't seen it, you have to go and watch Air Camp online. It's a fun one. I mean, it was there was not really much about air in it. It was just, just a lot of chat.
It was the story. The story.
It was the story, yeah.
Exactly. It's all about the story. No, it's a fun one. Actually, if anyone's got any questions, we're going to wrap up in a short while, but we'll take some questions. Just leave them in the Facebook chat, and we'll pull them on screen and ask these guys a few questions as we begin to wrap this up. A couple others actually. So we asked on Instagram a couple of questions, and we had a few. We had Flo asking, where are your quarantine spots? So Valentin, you first. Where's your quarantine spot?
Actually, it's my home lake, Ratzeburger See.
Yeah.
Just for foiling.
Just foiling. It's not full power freestyle.
Yeah, sometimes I had like the last weeks I had around 2, but with just 5-2 sail. So.
Okay. And Julian, where's your favorite spot during this quarantine time?
Same for me. Just 2 little lakes close to my house. They never work properly. It's just about catching some gusts for freestyle. And for foiling, it was super fun. But for freestyle, it's always waiting for the gust, thinking about what move you want to do, and then go, take the gust, do one move, then you wait for the next one.
How's that with foiling? Are you trying some foil freestyle now?
Yeah, actually yesterday I did my first switch corner. I was going downwind 360, foiling backwind, and then switch corner. But
is that after
before I started,
released that video? I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, where he's doing like crazy air funnels and shifties and all of this stuff on the foil.
Yeah, yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't know. Yesterday I was going straight, and I was thinking I gotta go and just chop hop to get a feeling how the foil feels in the air. And then I thought, I was a bit scared. I was like, man, go! Bas is doing shifties with this, with that thing. And then I was carving upwind a bit to get the feeling for a shaka. But like a few minutes later, I tried it again, and then I went upwind 360, but full planing, also everything in the air and then pumping out. So I can do some duck jives, some downwind and upwind 360.
Old school freestyle on the new school stuff.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was like learning. It was like learning from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was almost like learning a duck jive back then on a fin.
Amazing. I mean, you got to stay so balanced, haven't you? So it's it's tricky. Okay, so
it's cool because it's so gusty, and I actually only need one gust to get the foil up, and as soon as the foil is flying, I can fly through the wind holes like to the next gust.
Oh,
and
really?
Sometimes it gets so light I have to pump like without
like surf pumping,
like on a surf pump. Yeah. Then I pump, and I see the next gust coming. And then I okay, a few more pumps, and then finally I have pressure in my sail again.
and Valentin, how about you? Have you tried any foil style, or are you sticking to the full speed with the gun, the bow, isn't it, from the gun sail?
The bow, the bow fly, yeah. No, but right now I am just using a free ride foil sail with just 2 cam, and but I have this big door, like the race door. So I just sticking some duck jibes, and I also tried some up or downwind 360, upwind 360s. How is it called? But yeah, I'm more into duck jive and jiving and racing up and downwind and having fun.
The speed racing.
Speed racing.
Actually, I mean, you've been developing with Steven. I mean, Steven's the most successful or the most coveted European Freestyle Pro Tour champion, Steven van Broekhoven, and you've got him, in the gun sales team with you and everyone else, and he's been developing that sail quite a bit from what I hear. He's really into it.
You mean the bow, or everything? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this experienced guy, to have this guy in the team is really good to also because he was in the development for Neil Bright a long time as well, and he knows exactly how a sail has to be. So especially for the year, we have some big updates or upgrades from the previous models, and you see the results are still fine. We had Niklas in the team the last years as well, and the German Freestyle Battlers are using the sails as well, a lot of guys, and yeah, it's a quite good freestyle sail, and yeah, I'm super happy that I could like actually get the input from the beginning on, because I was pushing Gansets to come on guys, we need a real freestyle sail at the beginning. And like 2 or 3 years we had just the beat. It was kind of a pre-move kind of this kind of sail. And then they decided, okay, Valentin, what kind of freestyle sail do you want?
Amazing.
And then I said, okay, this sail is very good. Maybe we can do kind of something like that. And then they sent me some prototypes, and I had to I decided which one it will, and from there on.
Where did the inspiration of the name come from?
Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was Thorsten from Gansels.
Very good.
I don't know. Maybe too much beer.
What do they call it? Yeah. What? Yeah. Nice one. Amazing. Okay, so one other question then from Quirin Kraus is asking you, what's your favorite TV show? So, Julian, fire away. What's your favorite TV show?
I don't watch any TV, but I got into watching YouTube. Like I have some channels that I watch.
What's your favorite YouTube channel then?
Favorite YouTube channel is the one from Jamie O'Brien. Look, it's Jamie O'Brien, the surfer.
Yeah.
Nathan Florence, the brother of John, he got his own channel.
Okay.
Guys, I watch surfing, and then I really like to watch the sailing La Vagabond.
This is
a family that sails around the world, and they capture everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, these are those are the kind of shows.
Is that something you're going to do in the future? Grab a sailing boat at some point and start tripping around the world?
I would love to, yeah.
Find some
maybe
big windsurf spots.
And yeah, windsurfing wise, I watch some windsurfing TV. Sometimes the Sanded Sunday.
Yeah, they're good,
stuff like that. And I think it's also cool what Nico is doing. The German guy, Nico Prien. He's doing some proper like tutorial windsurfing.
Yeah, kind of vlogs as well, stuff like this. Actually,
and he got a lot of followers now, I think, or the channel is growing.
Yeah.
So that's cool because many people. There's windsurfing on YouTube. That's cool.
Well. No, that's cool. Actually, I mean, talking of these vlogs and stuff, Valentin, I mean, this leads us perfectly onto you. You've been doing touching in and out of these vlogs a bit, sometimes releasing some of a trip. You kind of seem to do it quite spontaneously, which is super cool. You do it based on a nice trip, or with a nice group of people and stuff like that. How's that been for you? Is that how you do it, and are you going to carry that on into the future?
Actually, just during trips, like I started, I think in Brazil. It was that time when I was in Brazil with Julian and Jeremy, and I mean, it's so great. It was kind of this learning process. This is why I was starting this kind of vlog style as well, because you film and you straight edit the stuff. And you just learn when you have stuff or have footage to edit. So this is why I started all this stuff for sure. But actually, it's great to see all these vlogs now, and to see where I was all around the world, and with so many great guys, and great memories, and yeah, it was great. But for sure, now I more focus on kind of business, movie stuff, and but for sure when I travel, or now last trip to Cape Town, I think I also did one vlog. It was kind of impression lifestyle stuff, but just to have fun and just to see where I've been.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the vlog stuff. I mean, I've also done a little bit in the past, and now sort of these kind of shredded things and things like that. It's an impression thing. It's something that you have as a blog, as a diary. And you know, for me, and I think in your case as well, it's about keeping up the skills as well during those quieter times, and maybe trying some new things with the video production and different filming techniques and stuff like this, so that when you have the business side, you can apply these new techniques. So talking of that, I mean, what have you got? You know, have you got anything coming up? Have you got any I know only too well all this creative stuff has kind of vanished for a while, been put on the back burner, on the sidelines, as it were. But do you have anything lined up, you know, in the future, in the coming months? Any trips planned, stuff like that?
Actually, no. We are
hard at the moment. But there's one movie that you guys have to watch for some inspiration. I watched it last week. It's called Riff. It's about Carissa Moore. It's on Red Bull TV.
I think I heard about this one. Yeah, I need to watch that for sure.
She got the spirit that all of us should have.
Yeah.
You have to watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
Also, okay, filming and editing wise, it's also pretty good, but it's super different. It's weird. It's like the Let's Be Frank one, but the story and about her character and how she, like, what she's doing in life and how she handles competition. It's the same what we actually do in windsurfing. What she's doing in surfing, it's so cool. You have to watch it. Or everyone out there. I shared it on my Facebook. I never share something, but I shared this, and no one watched it, and no one commented anything.
I have to check later.
Right, everyone head over to Julian's Facebook and check that movie. Leave a comment, leave a like, all of it.
Tell me that you like it.
Give him the love. Okay, cool. I mean, guys, it's been a pleasure chatting. Great to catch up and, you know, hear about what's going on, and you know, plans of the German Freestyle Battles and this. And you know, now we're looking forward to hopefully all meeting again in person, getting some sessions together and competing. And there's some events lined up. The first potentially is the Egypt event in August. So fingers crossed this one will be happening and we'll be heading that way. And then also to Lanzarote in September. So there's a few on the calendar, and you guys can check that out on the EFPT website as well, everyone listening. Just to wrap up then, I mean, one last question. What's your plans now? Have you got any plans, anything in the pipelines, or just, you know, personal trips? Valentin, what's coming up?
Actually, I'm looking forward to do all the trips up north, more to the Scandinavia side. Like we want to do kind of a road trip to the Swedish coast, up to Norway maybe.
Cool.
And to pick up our foils.
You left them there.
Yeah.
And Julian, how about yourself? What's your plans coming up in the next few months?
Yeah, I really want to try to discover more around home, or going up north to visit all the guys up there, and maybe get a new car, a bigger car that I can travel around Germany. Like maybe just, we don't know if the Egypt event happens, but I don't know. Usually I fly to the Canaries every summer, almost on the same date, and this year it might
All up
not
in the air,
happen.
yeah,
So I have to do something else, and I would love to use the time, like use the summertime or the late spring, like now, like June, and then into summer to stay home. Yeah, not home, but stay in Germany. Maybe go up north and discover there, because usually I'm somewhere else at this time of the year. So now is the chance.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, you said it right. It's the perfect opportunity to discover home a bit more.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we'll certainly be doing this also, be cruising around and checking out more local areas. So maybe we'll drop by and go for a session on those home spots. Bring a foil as well and cruise around the lakes. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much, everyone who's tuned in and stayed with us throughout. Thanks for joining us, and make sure to follow these guys on the social channels and give some support. It's a great thing to do at this time. So yeah, follow these guys and on the EFPT Tour as well. And stay tuned for next week. We'll announce it very shortly, who we have coming up next week. We'll have a couple more guests. And yeah, thanks again, guys, for joining us. And hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having us. That was fun.
See you next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.